Welcome back. And yes, I did it. I sold much of my portfolio. We're going to be going over what exactly I did in my portfolio, why I did it, and what I see as the outlook for not only the crypto markets, but also the overall equity or stock markets as we move into the end of March 2024, April, and the Bitcoin halving. If you guys have been following my channel for any length of time, you know that in October of 2023, just about 6 months before I'm recording this video, and where I'm pointing to on the Bitcoin price chart right about here, right before we started the ascent to where we are today at basically all new record highs of about $69,000, $70,000. Now, what I want you guys to understand is in October, I said that we would see a final rally before a capitulation point or a major correction in the markets, right? So we're going to basically go straight up and then we would correct. And that major correction would indicate the end of a bear market and the beginning of the bull market. This typically happens before the Bitcoin halving, based on the last 3 Bitcoin halvings that I've researched and we've explored very extensively on this channel. This is the first time in recent that Bitcoin actually topped its last all-time high before the halving. And so a lot of people are kind of, I think, getting ahead of themselves saying that, no, the bear market's over, we're going straight bull, and not anticipating this correction. And by the way, this is the Cryptoviser podcast. As I've explained, we talk about crypto, blockchain, investing every single day of the year. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Also, do me a favor, give this video a free thumbs up. I upload every single day. Thumbs up are free, crypto is not. And remember, these are just my opinions and my strategies. None of this is financial advice. Do your own research. I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm definitely not your financial advisor. So what I'm going to basically lay out is the reasons why everything up to this point has played out exactly as I have predicted based on analyzing these markets and historical trends. We have, since that tweet that's pinned on my X page, link down below in the description, go over, look at my pinned tweet. It says October 14th is when I said we were going to go straight up, capitulate. That would be the beginning of the bull market. And so we have been going straight up, you know, and look, if we zoom this in a little bit since October, we went up, kind of created a floor, took a little bit of a hike upward, and then boom, took another leg up. Floor was created, and then we've been going straight up ever since. A lot of people, especially newbies or emotional investors or people who are not analyzing the markets the way that we are, look at this and say, oh no, bull market, we're going to be going straight up forever. And it's like, the Federal Reserve hasn't started cutting rates. All of these situations, basically, here's the deal. Here's what's going on. The week that I'm recording this video, I told you guys that the stock market would reach all-time record highs because the president was going to be having his State of the Union. And historically, every single State of the Union, the stock market is at all-time record highs, at least for that day. That way they can say we're at all-time record highs. And sure enough, the stock market is at all-time record highs, exactly as I explained. I also said that crypto would probably continue to move higher and higher and potentially approach all-time record highs. Maybe we're going to go higher than that. Maybe we won't. I don't know. But there's a lot going on outside of the upward movement. So before I explain exactly what I did in my portfolio, let's kind of see what's going on, right? So Gary Gensler went on Bloomberg and he said that Bitcoin is a highly speculative asset and it's like a roller coaster. Now keep in mind, since these Bitcoin ETFs have been approved, okay, iShares ETF and the Fidelity, these are the 2 big ones. So this is why I have these on the screen. These have gone effectively straight up. Right? They've gone up 50% approximately in value in just about 3-4 months. But they're buying tens of billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin for these ETFs, not just these 2, but many others as well. And people who are in the euphoria mode, saying, oh, reach all-time record highs, all my coins are going up, I'm a genius, all of this, they're failing to realize that at some point, the purchasing is going to slow down in these ETFs. Or it's going to completely stop for a little bit, right? This was a lot of seed funding, the seed money that we knew that they were going to be kind of moving into the fund initially. But we haven't seen massive other inflows, right? Maybe some investment funds are looking at it, but they haven't probably made major allocations just yet, especially when the general economy is like a little bit wavery still. So now Gary Gensler's getting on TV and he's saying that Bitcoin is like a roller coaster, highly speculative asset, right? Maybe he's kind of telling investors like, you had a great few months in Bitcoin ETFs, but there is going to be a correction. Maybe that's what he's actually saying here. Let's listen to what he says, and then we'll assess.
It's a highly speculative asset class. One could just look at the volatility of Bitcoin in the last few days. And look, I grew up loving roller coasters. Maybe in my adult years I don't ride them as much, but you really should be conscious as the investing public that this is a bit of a roller coaster ride on these volatile assets. And then the question is how firm is the foundation of the, you get to the top of that hill, how's the foundation underneath it?
And let's be clear, guys, right now, the market is moving higher, or we reached all-time record highs in March of 2024 in Bitcoin because of these ETF inflows. So if the ETF inflows slow down or stop, even for maybe a month or two, Wall Street is in control. They are in control of these markets. And personally, I don't want to get rug pulled by Wall Street. And will they rug pull everybody in crypto? Sure, they will, right? Now, what that means, right, whether we're going to go down to 15,000, 10,000, 20,000, who knows, right? Because there's still going to be buying going on. But keep in mind, to buy, you actually have to have money outside of the system. If you're already in Bitcoin and you're already 100% leveraged in your altcoin like Cardano, you have no money on the side, you're not going to be able to buy any dips. We're also hearing that the crypto PAC-backed candidates sweep U.S. election primaries. Super Tuesday was a big thing. Typically around Super Tuesday, there's a lot of movement in the markets. And then we have this Ethereum overhang, right? So CFTC is saying that an Ethereum stance from this other exchange could create an interagency conflict. Basically, he's saying that Ethereum is not a security, but he's saying that if the SEC says it is a security, that could cause conflict. And what do we see happening? Everybody's anticipating this Ethereum ETF getting approved in May. Personally, I don't think it's actually going to happen, but maybe the anticipation for that will be a buy the rumors, sell the news event for that Ethereum ETF. We know that March 13th, which is within 1 week of me recording this video, Ethereum's Dencun upgrade is going live. And so everybody's been anticipating Dencun as well, because this is going to create lower fees, a better efficiency with transaction processing and all of that for Ethereum. But is this one of those buy the rumor, sell the news events? Are we seeing Ethereum move higher? And then into this event, it's going to be a dump. This is how historically Ethereum has kind of behaved in these milestones, right? When the merge happened, when the Shanghai upgrade happened, which allowed liquid staking or you to withdraw your coin from the staking mechanism. And so that's something that we have to keep in mind as well. We also know that the Ethereum Foundation has been moving a lot of Ethereum, and are they selling the top? Typically, again, like Wall Street kind of sends signals to the ecosystem about what they're going to do before they do it. It almost seems like Ethereum Foundation is kind of sends signals to the ecosystem, and whether you listen to those signals or don't, that's a whole different story. But almost every single time that they move coins to exchanges, it is an indicator of the local top almost every single time. And recently, on March 4th, Look On-Chain revealed a series of transactions executed by a wallet address related to the Ethereum Foundation. They disclosed that the Ethereum Foundation initiated 3 ETH transactions to a single wallet address identified as Cumberland Forwarder. Those transfers included 500 Ethereum each. So that's a lot, but it's not a huge amount. But maybe they're selling at this local top to kind of fund operations move forward. This is historically what they have done. And so Ethereum is closing in on $4,000 and its record high. And maybe by the time you're watching it, the record high has already been hit. But this doesn't change the macro narrative that if we are going to have a capitulation point and see a corrective phase, that could potentially last a few weeks, which would put us into the Bitcoin halving. And then probably after the Bitcoin halving, we'll see more movement higher. That's typically what we've seen during previous cycles. So is the optimism for Ethereum's price a warning sign? I believe so. Because when the majority of the market is bullish, you should be bearish. When the majority of the market is bearish, you should be bullish. And when you play it like that, pretty much, I think you can do much better than majority of other people in the market because they're all going to be switching. I mean, look at my videos. Look in the comments on this video. There's going to be Cryptoviser. You missed the boat. I'm like, what boat? Is it a rowboat? Like, I'm studying these markets to make short-term, medium-term, and long-term plays. And while yes, I did sell a large portion of my portfolio, before we go there, the biggest thing that I think is going to impact crypto in this next month is this underlying, or I should say, anticipated unlocking of 2 billion Arbitrum. I was looking for the Dr. Evil meme. It's actually 3 billion Arbitrum. So effectively, right now, Arbitrum has about a $3 billion market cap. And in basically the middle of March as well, right around the Duncan upgrade, right around when we're going to be hearing from the Federal Reserve, right around the time that we're going to be hearing about the inflation number, we're getting the Duncan upgrade, and Arbitrum is literally almost doubling their entire supply of the coin. So in 8 days from when I'm recording this video, so just about March like 15th or 14th, basically Arbitrum is going to be unlocking $2.3 billion worth of Arbitrum coins, which is basically its entire market cap currently of $3 billion, maybe a little bit less. So basically they're going to be injecting 85% more coins into the ecosystem. And so if you think about it from a price perspective, right, from a supply demand metric, you would imagine this $2.13 is going to drop by around half, if not more. And so all of these events just in the crypto world and all of this euphoria and this these kind of lingering hangover potential buy the rumor, sell the news events, I think are a real big indicator of kind of what should be the obvious thing to be at least contemplating at this point. Now, let me be clear. Most of my crypto portfolio is untouched at the time of making this video, and this could change at any point. Don't make investment decisions based on what I say. I'm just letting you know what I'm doing, in my opinion. And obviously, I could be 100% wrong. Maybe in a few months, I'm going to be like, I shouldn't have sold that. But typically, that's not how I trade the market. But yeah, I mean, most of my crypto portfolio is still intact because crypto generally, I think, is going much, much higher. But if we're talking about my like crypto derivative portfolio in the stock market, well, that's a whole different story. And so when you're saying Cryptoviser, what is a crypto derivative market? Well, this is basically anything that's connected to crypto in the stock market, right? The Bitcoin trusts, the Bitcoin ETFs, MicroStrategy, even Tesla, because they hold some Bitcoin on their balance sheet, the Bitcoin mining companies, things like that. And so we're going to go through that in just a minute. But keep in mind, outside of crypto, there's a lot of warning signs as well. A real estate CEO warns that 500 or more banks will fail or be consolidated over the next 2 years. So this is RXR CEO described how regional banks will face a slow-moving train wreck as waves of commercial real estate loans mature over the next few years. He has faith that many commercial real estate owners, operators, and lenders will figure out a way to overcome these challenges facing them, but he's more skeptical about regional banks. He said, I think there's going to be 500 or more fewer banks in the US over the next 2 years. I'm not saying they're all going to fail, but they're going to be forced into consolidation if they don't fail. Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying that the market is dropping forever, right? A capitulation point happens for a very short period of time. When I said back in 2022, that we were going to have a capitulation point around November, we did. It was FTX. And that capitulation point down to 15,500 happened for about a week, maybe 2 weeks. And then after that, we haven't, at least up to date when I'm recording this video, we haven't revisited that $15,500 bottom. But that was capitulation. We dropped very rapidly, stayed there for a very short period of time, and then recovered at least to a higher number shortly thereafter. So I'm saying in the middle of March, if capitulation occurs, we're going to be out of capitulation by probably the middle of April when the Bitcoin halving is going to be occurring. And keep in mind that what's happening on the general economy, what's happening in the general stock market affects what's happening in the crypto markets. So we have to understand this. Is it possibly a bearish signal that Meta platform insiders are disposing stock? It's not just Meta or Facebook, where we've seen insiders selling stock literally at the Pico, toppity top that these stocks have ever been at, right? Look at this. First of all, this is a cup and a handle, and it's a perfect formation. And so cup and handle, typically you'll see a correction thereafter on the other side. So when that's going to happen, I don't know. But you have all of these insiders selling literally across the board through Meta Platforms. JP Morgan's CEO just sold 1 million shares. That's $187 million worth of shares. And what is the stock doing? It keeps going higher. Typically, this is euphoric. This is euphoric market, right? Potentially, maybe even here a cup and handle, right? Nice little cup, a little bit of a handle, and keep going up. But meanwhile, we're seeing all of these insiders selling. Warren Buffett, half of Berkshire Hathaway's portfolio is in Apple. And in 2023, they started selling. And I told my viewers back in 2023, when Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway starts selling Apple, run for the hills. Run for the hills, at least if you own Apple. Because if they start offloading Apple, they're going to do it slow because they have 50% of their portfolio. This is hundreds of millions or billions of dollars in Apple. And think about it. They can't dump it all at once because that's going to cause panic. They're going to have to dump it slowly. And I'm talking about very slow, like maybe even over the course of 5 years. But them selling consistently would indicate get the hell out and don't get back in Apple. But they've already started selling. We know that. And so we also are seeing some business issues with the company. Look at this 1-year chart. A massive correction back in August. Started going down. They started to recover, and there's no support. So now this looks like a double top on the yearly, right? A double top for Apple. And think about how many people have this in their pension fund, their retirement fund, and they have no idea that Berkshire Hathaway is already selling. And I told you guys, as soon as Berkshire Hathaway sells, the court says Apple stock could be slaughtered if Warren Buffett sells more of it. Yeah, that's a big problem if he keeps selling. So I'm trying to see if it says how much exactly he sold here. Berkshire Hathaway sold off about 1% of its stake in Apple in the last quarter of 2023. Think about that. They have 50% of their portfolio in it, and they sold 1%. So that means 2% of their entire portfolio, of the entire Berkshire Hathaway portfolio, was sold off in Apple, approximately. Wow. So if they keep selling more, what do you think is going to happen? Guys, there are so many kind of warning signs around that, some of these stocks are not going to be doing well. And why do they keep going higher, right? $187 million worth of sales from Jamie Dimon, and the stock is going higher. Who's buying it? Who's buying that? JP Morgan. So yeah, we will see. And we're even seeing MicroStrategy, right? I've been a big bull on MicroStrategy, and this is one of the stocks that I've sold a large portion of my portfolio in because we've gone basically hyperbolic. And they're taking out more debt to buy more Bitcoin. But if Bitcoin has a corrective phase, even if it drops 20% or 30% back down to $40,000 from $70,000, what do you think is going to happen to the MicroStrategy stock? Look at the price of MicroStrategy. We went from beginning of February, $500 to more than double in about a month. Double. That's a very short period of time. And so if you're in profit 100% in a month, why would you not take that profit off the table? Wait for a correction and then buy in lower again, and then wait for us to go much higher. This is a trading strategy that I employ in my portfolio. So right now, I did sell a lot of my MicroStrategy, a lot of some other assets that are connected to crypto, connected to some stocks that maybe haven't, or stocks or ETFs that haven't been in profit for many years, maybe even since the bull run, right? Some of my positions have been in the red for 2 years now. And so now they went in the green 40, 50, 60% in a month. Yeah, believe it, I took profit. Coinbase, same thing. And it's not just us who are taking profit. ARK Invest, we know Kathy Wood's company continues to take profit out of Coinbase, because look at the Coinbase stock just year to date, started the year at $156, went down to about $120, and now we're double. Is Coinbase going to continue to do well during the bull run? Absolutely. I believe so. But from now until the time that they report their earnings in probably May, that's a month and a half. A lot can happen in the markets in a month and a half. And I think that based on kind of everything that we've gone over with a lot of the overhang, the general economy, right? The CPI, the fact that all the markets hit new all-time record highs in line with Super Tuesday, in line with the State of the Union address, which normally happens during State of the Unions. But everything is not all gloomy, guys, right? I didn't sell everything in my portfolio. And most of my crypto portfolio is still intact because I still believe in my thesis about my portfolio, that short-term swings may not indicate long-term moves. But even by the time you're watching this video, that may change. Maybe I liquidated my entire crypto portfolio by then. I don't know. But there's a lot of other assets that I'm still holding and that I think are still going to do well. I mean, look at these yield max ETFs. This was the dividends that they announced for March. Okay, so the Tesla yield max ETF, 81 cents a share, was the dividend. But I want to scroll down to NVIDIA. Look at NVIDIA yield max NVIDIA ETF, $2.62 per share, 3.5% 30-day yield, and a 100% annualized yield. That's I mean, where else can you get yields like that, right? And again, what's happening performance-wise changes from month to month and is based on the market. So you have to do your own research. But Coinbase, their yield max Coinbase ETF, $1.66 dividend per share, which is almost 4% in 1 month. And the other ones that we've been talking about was the AI one, the AI yield max ETF, $1.06 per share. So there's still ways to make money in these markets, even when the market's going down, even when the market's going up. Because what YieldMax does is most of these ETFs, they're selling covered call options. So they're basically collecting the premium. And regardless of where the price of the stock goes, they're covered for it. So it doesn't matter. They're just really taking more on the yield. Obviously, if the price goes much higher, they usually do much better. And that's why we saw some of these see higher yields than others. NVIDIA did really well. Coinbase did really well in February. And AI stocks did really well in February 2024 as well. So again, check out YieldMax ETFs. This is not financial advice. I don't work for them. They're not paying me. I really think that their products are interesting as we're entering a bull market because covered call premiums, as the market goes higher, you would imagine is going to increase, and probably the dividend yield may increase as well. And they just launched the MicroStrategy YieldMax ETF at the end of February. It says February 21. So the first, I guess, dividend month will probably be April, but it may be May. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, there's a lot going on in the markets, and this is why I liquidated many positions. A lot of the, like I said, MicroStrategy, a lot of the ETFs, some of the Bitcoin mining companies, and pretty much any stocks that were in profit that I've been in the red for multiple years, because I do believe in reconsolidating portfolios on a regular basis, whether it's every 6 months or every year, kind of really looking at what are the winners and what are the losers. Do I want to take profit out of the winners, and do I want to take losses from the losers and just move on to other assets? Anyway, let me know what you guys are doing in your portfolio. And remember, these are my opinions. Obviously, I could be wrong. I'm thinking about, short, medium, and long-term trading. So generally speaking, crypto is really like longer term. The trading is short and medium term, right? You can make trades in a day. Like some of these stocks went up 100%. They doubled in a month, right? That's a pretty short-term trade, but maybe it was going to be a medium-term trade, but it turned into a short-term trade. So there's all different types of trading strategies that you can deploy throughout your single portfolio or multiple portfolios. Some people have one portfolio for trading short-term, one for trading medium-term, one for trading long-term, and then one for retirement. And that seems to work for them really well. Some have just all in one portfolio. Some just like to long-term trade. So it's really up to you. But let me know what you guys are doing down below. Don't forget to give this video a free thumbs up. And let me know if you agree with my thesis that we're going to have some type of capitulation point probably within the next few weeks before April of 2024. Maybe I'll be wrong on the timing, but we are going to see some type of corrective phase here, because this can't be sustainable, especially when the Federal Reserve has not changed anything. And if you look at Apple's stock, I mean, Apple has already double topped in the last year, and that is not a good sign in my view. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you tomorrow. Invest responsibly, do your own research, and as always, crypto on.